In the previous videos, you heard me mention FileMaker scaling up to 500 users, where you're using multiple servers kind of tied together. Now, we won't be going over how to set up that in this course, but I wanted to take a minute just to talk about what that means. So anytime you have more than 100 FileMaker users, and that's FileMaker Go and FileMaker WebDirect users. FileMaker Pro still doesn't have this requirement. You can connect over 100 to one FileMaker server. But for in cases of WebDirect or FileMaker Go users where you need to connect up to 500 users, you're going to be looking at what's called a multi-machine deployment. And that means you have multiple servers where you have one server that's your database server and then another server that's your application server for connecting additional users. Now, if you just Google search for FileMaker 17 multi-machine deployment, you'll find the FileMaker Server 17 installation and configuration guide. Always recommend reading through this. It's a lot of documentation, but it will help out. You'll see that they have a whole section dedicated to deploying FileMaker Server across multiple machines. So the first thing with that is you need to again, you need to make sure by starting off that you have the right licensing to be able to do multi-machine deployment. You need to make sure that you have the hardware planned out for what hardware you're going to use, and then read through this documentation thoroughly for how that's going to be deployed. So that would be in my mind an advanced topic, which is why I'm not really covering it here. But if you get to the point where you need to do multi-machine deployment, then that is available, and it's a very powerful feature of FileMaker that's allowing it to scale up to very large installations. One other note here is you can do a multi-machine deployment with just a regular 100 user license, anything under 100 users. And what that does for you is it allows you to split up your FileMaker database server and your web publishing engine to its own server. So if you have a bunch of WebDirect users, like 50, 75, where you want to put them on their own server, you can do the two-machine multi-machine deployment, and that kind of takes the load off of having one big server and splits it up the workload among two servers. So that's an important thing to think about.